My most researched, my most consumed case that I've ever looked into is actually surprisingly one I've never spoken about on this channel. So today we're going to be not talking about the JonBenét Ramsey case. With the holidays, travel, uploads, all of that stuff, my diet, getting to the grocery store, it was starting to pay the price. Until I met Hungryroot, and we're gonna talk about it right now. So my life is busy, but eating healthy shouldn't be that difficult, and Hungryroot makes it easy. Hungryroot is like a personal shopper, a nutritionist, a chef, all in one. So what they do is Hungryroot takes care of your weekly grocery shopping. Now this is very tailored to your taste, your goals, your needs, your diets, whatever it is the most customizable situation like this that I have come across. Whether you're aiming for a gut-friendly, gluten-free, dairy-free, high-protein, even anti-inflammatory meals, Hungryroot makes it simple to eat high-quality, nutritious foods. It's so easy to. All you gotta do is tell Hungryroot your goals, your preferences, all that kind of stuff, and they make it easy for you. They fill your cart with smart recommendations. These get better every week based on what you love or what you don't. Look, they've got smoothies, kids snacks, sweets, salad kits, supplements. There's literally something for the whole family, and even if the whole family had completely different goals and dietary needs. Look, they have over 15,000 recipes shipped each week, already in 15 minutes or less. Hungryroot delivers convenience without compromise. And look, here's the bonus to it. They're not serving you like a bottom shelf stuff here, okay? Every ingredient is top quality, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives, just clean, wholesome food. I absolutely loved everything about working with Hungryroot and what they sent me and how it all went down. Now, during this time, I was also traveling doing that kind of stuff because a lot of their food, it ranged from actual meals that you could make or pre-prep like snack stuff, things like this. I just like got a cooler, loaded it up and was off to vacation. And literally when I got there and everybody's talking about we need to go to the grocery store, which obviously we still did for some things. But when I pulled my cooler out and was like, hello, Paul's got the hookup. Literally everybody was blown away, okay? And then on top of it, the taste, right? Y'all, this was one of my most favorite companies, whatever you want to call it, to work with in the food department like this. I absolutely love them. I hope to work with them more. Sold customer for life over here, okay? And they are gonna hook you up the same way they hooked me up. Now y'all, look, we got a code, Sofa Squad. It's kind of like Code Blue, but Sofa Squad, okay? Because this deal warrants it. They're gonna give you not 10, not 20, not 30, but 40% off of your first box. Now, in addition to that, you can pick out a free item to go into your box, and guess what? They don't stop there. They're gonna do that for life. As long as you're using them, you get that free item, okay? Major bonus. So click the link below or go to hungryroot.com. You're gonna wanna use code Sofa Squad. That's gonna get you the 40% off the first box and that free item in every box for life, okay? Don't miss it. Code Sofa Squad right now. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. Psh, sofa's back there. Psh, I'm right here. Psh. There's actually no dogs right here. They are over at Matt's house being babysat right now. Y'all, today we are going to be talking about something that we have not officially talked about here on the channel, and that is the JonBenét Ramsey case. Before we get into it, I want to just say this. And if you're new here, you'll hear it, but if you're not new here, you've already heard this, so I'm sorry. I ain't a doctor and a lawyer. I'm not a cop. I'm not an investigator. I don't know the people in the crime. I wasn't there. I ain't none of the fancy credentialed stuff. Okay, I'm just a guy with a sofa and some sass and opinions on true crime. Okay, so that's all this is. This is just my opinions on very public information. I'm also gonna have to Christina Randall this video. I beg of you to please be open to different opinions and viewpoints in a cordial manner in the comment section, because this is a very volatile case in that way, okay? So there's my disclaimers, right? What we're gonna be talking about is the reasons why I have not spoken on this case in a quick overview. If this is something that people want to talk about here on my channel, as well as it's like no one's killing each other, because that's one of the major reasons why I've never talked about it, 100% here for it. Some of you like a Patreon or whatever, like we've talked about it, but I've just never come here and done this, okay? So there's that. Now, for people who are not familiar with this, I'm going to do, and I'm talking y'all, a very quick little thing here, okay? So let's talk about some of the basics, the dates and stuff like that of what the case is about. Okay, so JonBenét Ramsey, she was born August 6, 1990. She was 6 years old. Many of the images that you're used to seeing were from her with the beauty queen, imagery and all the pageantry and that type of stuff. This is in Boulder, Colorado. Okay, she is the daughter of John and Patsy Ramsey. She had an older brother. She had other siblings, but specifically we'll just talk about Burke, the older brother, for this video. Let's go over a quick timeline. Now we're going back to Christmas time, December 25th, 26th, 1996. So the evening of December 25th, the Ramseys go to a Christmas party. They come home later that night. The morning of 26th, Patsy Ramsey gets up. She finds her daughter's missing. She finds a ransom note. It has this mysteriously convenient number of $118,000. It was a very long note. We'll talk about that later. Later that morning, the Boulder police arrive. They search the house. Then eventually John Ramsey will find his daughter down in a very obscure room down in the basement. And this kicks off the case. Okay, so that is the nuts and bolts. You already know, if you're familiar with this, that that's just the skimming of the surface, so you know we're all here on the same page. Okay, so there's that. Now, the case is not solved. No one has been charged. This has gone on for decades, obviously, okay? This is one of those cases that I literally am like, when I leave this earth, I want to know what happened to JonBenét Ramsey, okay? Classic and Sincere, aka Orrin and Orson West, was another one. Well, for them, I want to know what happened to them, but there is justice served. We can kind of add everything up. Justice has not been served in this case yet, right? And we have no idea what happened to her. So what I've done is I made a little list right here, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to literally go over the reasons why I haven't talked about it to put you where I'm at with the case, okay? So let's just get into them. Okay, so first of all, a massive amount of information about the case. We're talking books, we're talking podcasts, we're talking YouTube videos, we're talking documentaries, we're talking about when it first came out, the salacious media that attached to it. Just as we've all seen recently, a Netflix docuseries. No, I did not like it, but I watched it, of course, it came out. If it's JonBenét Ramsey, I most likely have listened to it, watched it, formed an opinion, this, that, and the other. Here's the thing, and one reason why I'm talking about this here. So I recently started an official TikTok and was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just break my side. I'm just going to put out a thing on here, right? And talk about why I haven't spoken about it or whatever on a fresh platform. I have thoroughly enjoyed the comment section and responding and doing that over there. People have been very cool and cordial. And I've actually met some of the Sofa squatters have found me over there already or whatever. So what I want to say is what I said in the video there. Here's how I am with the case overall. If you came to me and were like, Paul, I'm sitting you down the sofa, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I think Patsy did it. By the end of that, I'd be like, call the police. Call the police. You're right. Let's go. But then the next day you came back and said, Paul, scratch everything I said yesterday. Sit down on the sofa. I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I think Burke did it. By the end of that, I'd be like, FBI on the phone right now. You cracked it. Let's go. The next day you came back and you're like, Paul, forget anyone in the family, the dad, Burke, forget all the people I told you about. This is why an intruder did it. By the end of that, I'd be like, hands down, it was the intruder. Okay. That's a huge reason why I am like, bleh, with the case, right? Because I literally, whatever I watch, I'll start going down it. Now, at the end of this video, I'll tell you kind of where I'm leaning towards at this current day, but it can change tomorrow, okay? So there's that. Now, number two, every piece of evidence has multiple angles that you can go and look off of, right? And so that is another huge thing where I'm just like, I'll start going down this path and then I'll be like, yep, that's where I'm at. But then, what about this? And I'll start going down that path. And it has me absolutely running in circles by the time I'm done with it. A huge one that most people can agree on is the completely blundered investigation. It is my opinion that it will never be solved because of that. This town was not ready for that. They did not have, they weren't ready for it, okay? It was not taken as seriously as it needed to. All the stuff that happened in the beginning, all the stuff at the beginning with the John Ramsey, the crimes, all the friends coming over, the cover up, all this stuff, right? I personally think it will never be solved because of that. We will never get any true evidence out of the case from that and for those reasons. Now, there's also tons of speculation on this, myself included, right? But it's another reason why I've not really spoken out on it because I'm just like, there's so much this and that and the other and that again, it just has me going in circles. And this also ties in with another one of my reasons of wanting to be not right in the way of like, no, I know the answer to the case, because I don't know that about any of the cases we follow, but to do it justice, because at the center of this is a little girl who, whatever her last thoughts were and visions on this earth, no matter whose hands that it was at, were horrible, right? And then whatever was done to her afterwards was horrible. So there's that level of just that going on. And so because I go in so many circles with it, and I feel like it's this enormous thing, I haven't wanted to speak on it. However, now what I'm seeing is I want to start breaking it down into little pieces and having conversations about those, like the letter, the police officer in her interview, the window, the pineapple, the flashlight, specific things like that. Because I feel like even trying to do a deep dive, and y'all know me, I'm not like a typical true crime channel that does like, here's my 10-part series, a deep dive into JonBenét Ramsey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like that, but I spend an unhealthy amount of time on each part of this case right here. Okay. Now, obviously another thing is like how popular this case was. This kind of ties in with everything. The case is so popular. So many people have done it. So many channels have done it. So many people talk about it. So many people are so adamant that their theory, their thing is the end all be all. If you don't agree, they will destroy you. Right. And I'm just like, I don't ever claim to know the answers myself. So it's made me fearful to even go down that road. But I hope by presenting this in the way of like, look, I don't know, right? Y'all know, if you follow me for a while, you'll know, like, I think I did a live chat on the Delphi situation where I was like, I'm coming to the sofa squad on this, right? Y'all have probably followed this way deeper than I have, and I want to know what your thoughts are once the verdict came out and all that, right? This is kind of one of those here too, where I'm like, look, I've gone through the books, I've gone through the things, I don't know, okay? And like I said, depending on where I'm at with things, I will kind of shift this is what I think happened, okay? And again, we'll talk about it here in a minute. One of the other things here is the aspect of, and if you follow me, you'll know, I cover crimes that have like children in them, but not too often. I'm going to be honest, y'all, the Harmony Montgomery case did me in, okay? It literally right now I want to start crying. Even saying her name makes me want to start crying. That one gives me goosebumps. That one did me in. I typically go after the absurd, that kind of like very, these, you know what I'm talking about. If you watch me, you know. And so when they have little children like this and it's so just horrific, it's heavy, right? And so I've kind of veered away from it for that reason and just haven't spoken on it a whole bunch. Now, also another reason why I haven't done it is, like, let's say how popular the case is and how much it's been done, like the saturation of it and whatnot. So here's the thing. I feel like when people come to, oh, another video on JonBenét, here we go. And then it's held to a different standard because everyone has their opinion. I mean, just literally looking at the comments on TikTok and whatnot, where it's like, people be like, no, this is what happened. And I'm somebody who was always like, we weren't there, right? We truly don't know. Only a few people truly know what happened. I personally think one of them is deceased at this point. You could do spoiler alert for some of my thoughts we're about to get into. Also, because so many like creators, like say people like me, like not real reporters, like YouTube type people have done this in addition to legitimate reporting books and stuff like that, I don't feel like I can do it justice. So it's a little bit different style case in that way for me. However, it is one that the mystery of it brings me back to what happened that night. It seemed like such a perfect life on the outside, right? We can argue about the whole pageant thing, right? But you know what I'm saying? Postcard family is what I'm getting at. When you think about Christmas, I mean, my stuff, it's still Christmas. I mean, it's like right after Christmas or whatever, but depending on when you see this, it's after Christmas for sure. But that time of the year, that magical time of the year, and thinking on what was happening that evening, it haunts me, right? Now, mind you, obviously I do true crime content for a reason, right? The mystery of it intrigues me. The psychology intrigues me. There's many different levels you can go down with this case, the psychology, the mystery, the unsolvedness, all of that stuff it presents, okay? And so that attracts me to it, but it also scares me away from actually making making like an official video like I'm doing now, okay? So there's that. I sit here and when I watch other creators' videos on it, I literally am like this, I'm like, I could never do that, right? Like this is so in-depth. And this is almost a case that like you need spreadsheets and like, here's this date and this is what happened and blah, 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 blah. And even though like, I cannot tell y'all over how many years, how much content I have watched over this case. And so it's almost like now to properly digest it, I want to start talking about it, okay? So those are the main reasons why I have not talked about it. Now let's start talking about it. So let's get into, Paul, today, this moment, what do you think happened, right? Let's just spoiler alert that. Again, I don't know. Right? I don't know. This is what I think. And again, this is alleged, right? Nobody's been convicted of this. No one's been brought to charges, anything like that. Okay. Let's start first with the recent docuseries, which I think was 100% like a last-ditch effort from Mr. Ramsey, Mr. John Ramsey, of putting things out there, okay? I go back and forth with family member versus intruder. And depending on the time, day, week, whatever, if I blink twice that day, whatever the case is, I'll be like, oh, it was an intruder. I'm getting ready to do in our book club that we do one of the books, okay? And so I'm going to get a little bit deeper into some of that stuff. This was a bombshell moment for me, and let me know what you think, in the docuseries from Netflix. Okay, at one point, Mr. Ramsey is talking about the suitcase and finding her, the broken window, etc. Okay, so he says in there, he's like, well, the window was broken. I thought we had fixed it. Now, I probably, because it's just been so much time, had forgotten about that information, so it was new to me in the moment. But I'm sure that's so obvious that I've just have not thought about it or whatever. Okay, so immediately I was like this. I was like, wait a second. I thought the window was like freshly broken. So from there, I was like, hold on. No, absolutely not. Take intruder off the table for me. Okay. Again, tomorrow you could convince me otherwise. Okay. But in that moment, I was like, nope, I will always come down to this as well. I am sorry. I believe that Patsy wrote that letter. I do. I believe she wrote it. I think it looks so much like her handwriting. The whole thing of the experts, and it's like, well, we'll get one that says what we want to say, and these people over here say this and that, and blah, 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 blah. It is too close. It is too similar. It is obviously also left out of so many discussions, you know what I'm saying, when it seems to be like John surrounded by it. Now, does that mean I think Patsy did it? No. Do I think she did not do it? No. My personal opinion is someone in that family, when I say that family, I'm talking about the three people that were in that house, right? John, Burke, and Patsy. Between the three of them, know what happened. Now, does this mean that other people could be involved in that? Yes. Do I know that for a fact? No. Do I have any suggestions right now? No. Not enough factual to be like, okay, I think this person did it, but you know, that kind of thing, right? I think between the three of them that they know what happened. I fluctuate on this right here. And again, we're going to get deeper into this. Is an overview, but I don't want to end the video without y'all thinking a general synopsis of where I'm at with it. So just know that. I go two ways. Patsy was the after effect of covering up. Oh my God, here I am in this moment. Here we go. What do I have to do? Oh my God, I'm going to save the family, so we'll do this letter, right? Or having actively done something with it. I do that thought process with each of them, but I resonate more with, if you were to ask me like right now, point blank, Paul, if you said, Paul, it has to be someone in the family, hands on, that did something, I would reside with John or Burke and Patsy help cover it up. Okay, that's on that right there. Okay, again, we could go have a discussion over here and I could say, oh, nope, I think it was this over here. But that's just in the scenario of had to be between those three people. Okay, the letter is so suspicious, and I'll do a separate video on the letter, but and obviously the handwriting, the length of it, where it was found, the whole 9 yards. Okay, obviously lots of behavior from the Ramseys and whatnot. We see this present also with the McCanns. Okay, and I come back to this also too, and then we're going to kind of round this out for this video right here. If you were, so look at it this way, the sword cuts both ways. If something truly nefarious happened to your child and you had nothing to do with it and it was just a bad coincidence, it looked like totally sus, obviously you would want justice to come forth and you would spend the rest of your life making sure that happened. If you had something to do with it, you would have to spend the rest of your life looking for justice because it would look bad if you didn't. Okay. So that's where and that's how this whole case is for me. It goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with me to where I'm like, I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I can come up with a reason for every single thing. So another part, and again, this is just a sampling. We'll do separate video. That's the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to do separate videos for each thing because that's the only way I know how to control the voices in my head, okay? You can tell I'm battling out with them right now, right? That's the only way I know how to do it, okay? And we'll just do it bit by bit, because also when you get into the whole thing about Burke, and again, he hasn't been charged. I don't know this man. He was a boy at the time. Don't know him. Was the Dr. Phil interview sus? Absolutely 100% it was weird. Do I think that he would naturally be traumatized? Absolutely 100%. You know, do I think that he could do that? You know, the head injury, sure. The rope thing, my God, that seems so, you know, wow. That's severe, right? We look at the cases we follow though, right? I mean, you never know. The 911 phone call. You know, do we believe that we hear those voices of we're not talking to you, I think it was, and what have you done when the call kept going? Okay. If I was getting paid for watching body language videos on the family, please, I'd be retired 10 times over. I would love, okay, now I've said this before, you know, and now I love all the channels, but one that I go back to and listen to over and over and over. And now that we're talking about this, I'm going to go back and listen to some of his stuff. It's Deception Detective. Okay. That's the name of it. Okay. Please, if you see his views on his stuff right there and it says 100,000, I'm like 90,000 of those, okay? Like, I've watched his stuff over and over. I need to go back and repeat it or whatever and look at it because he brings up so many good points and whatnot. I would love to have him on the channel, right, to talk to about this. He brings up so many good points about, you know, their body language and how they're acting and all that stuff. And those are the things that I go to that will literally have me convinced, like, I don't know which way is up, which way is down. So that being said, what I want to do is round this out, but I wanted to start off, I'll make a playlist obviously or whatever, but I wanted to start the first one with, this is why I haven't talked about the video, or the case, I'm sorry, because it's so complicated, it's so public, it's so been out there for decades, it's just, when you talk about like true crime history, whatever you want to call it, this is one of the pinnacle cases out there, right? Unsolved cases. And, you know, I'm not trying to say I'm an expert at it, I'm not trying to say I can do it justice like these major, you know, channels have, but it's one that I definitely want to talk about because I've spent years looking into it. And I just feel like I'm at that point now where I want to have that conversation. So again, I'm going to Christine and Randall, please be kind in the comment section to each other. You know, we all have different opinions. We all have different viewpoints on things. You know, it is what it is. Okay. So just, you know, just be kind if you can. But again, let me know your opinions. I know this is like the first video I'm going to be doing on this. Is there specifics? So here's the things. If you're like, oh, Paul, you need to look into this, drop the name of the book, drop the name of the video, drop the name of the creator. Like, I want to know. Secondly, is there a specific aspect that you're like, Paul, what do you think about the letter, the pineapple, the staircase, the room, the police, you know, whatever it is, let me know so I have like a gauge point. Cause I know the parts that I want to talk about, but there's so many layers to this. And for people that have like literally been like deep diving this case for decades, y'all are going to know way more information than I am here. Obviously, like, you know, there's just, I'll put that out there, but I want to know, right? This is just, it's such a major case for me. So that's it. Thank you if you're still watching. I greatly appreciate it. Very much looking forward to the comment section on this. And while you are in the comment section, if you could please drop some little sofas off for myself, Rosco and Spirit, the little puppies who are not here, but will be tomorrow afternoon, so that we'll have a place to hang out, talk about this case, all the other cases we talk about here at the Sofa Squad. And until we meander our way down there to do that, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Rosco on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll
See you in the next video.